There is an ancient belief whispered across civilizations, from the temples of Babylon to the pyramids of Egypt, from the manuscripts of Vedic sages to the stars mapped by Mayan priests. The heavens speak, not in words, in patterns, in slow, divine rhythms that mirror not only the movement of planets, but the movement of our collective soul. And now, as 2025 draws near, something in the sky is shifting, something big. Astrologers across the globe are watching, quietly but intently. They're seeing alignments that haven't occurred in centuries. Outer planets, those that govern generations, not individuals, are changing signs. And when these giants move, they do not whisper, they echo. Uranus, the planet of revolution, is nearing the end of its journey through Taurus. Its next stop, Gemini. This shift signals a dramatic evolution in how we communicate, think, and perceive truth. Expect the rise of new languages, not just spoken, but digital, telepathic, synthetic. Expect the collapse of what you thought was normal thought, and the birth of multidimensional cognition. Pluto, the shadow walker of the solar system, has just entered Aquarius. This hasn't happened since the late 1700s, when revolutions reshaped the earth. America was born, machines replaced hands, ideas became empires. Now it returns not as repetition, but as resonance. Pluto in Aquarius is not just about social change, it's about rewriting the definition of power, from central control to networked awakening, from kings to collectives, from hierarchy to frequency. And while Saturn continues its path through Pisces, the veil between realities is thinning. The dreams we have in 2025 may not be dreams at all. They may be transmissions, precognitive whispers from a future already in motion. But here's the truth most won't tell you. Astrology is not prediction. It is invitation. The stars do not dictate. They resonate. They show you the wave, but it is you who must choose whether to surf it or be swallowed by it. So as you stare at the sky, don't just ask what will happen. Ask, what are the stars asking of me? Because in 2025, the question is not whether the world will change. The question is, will you? When outer planets shift, it's not just history that bends, it's consciousness. These celestial bodies orbit far beyond the personal. They speak to what Carl Jung called the collective unconscious. A reservoir of symbols, dreams, traumas, and mythologies we all share beneath our surface identities. And in 2025, those archetypal forces are stirring. Let's begin with Pluto in Aquarius. This is no ordinary transit. It's the end of an era and the genesis of something unknown. Aquarius is the sign of the visionary, the outsider, the cosmic rebel. When Pluto, a planet of death, rebirth, and transformation, enters this space, it doesn't just tweak the system, it dismantles it. Expect breakdowns in old forms of control, institutions, governments, technologies we've grown too reliant upon. Not for destruction's sake, but to create space for something unimaginably new. This isn't just a political shift, it's a shift in how we define truth, power, and identity. Old paradigms are fracturing. Decentralization over domination, intuition over information, spiritual sovereignty over collective conditioning. Now let's consider Neptune, still deep in Pisces. Neptune dissolves boundaries. It doesn't destroy, it melts. In Pisces, it's melting the veil between dimensions. Dreams in 2025 won't feel like dreams. They'll feel like downloads. You may begin to notice symbols recurring in sleep, memories that don't feel like yours, emotions that echo from nowhere and everywhere. These are signals, not glitches. Neptune asks, what if you are more than this body, this name, this lifetime? It softens the ego, preparing the soul for what's coming next. Then there's Uranus on the brink of Gemini. Gemini is the sign of the messenger, the bridge between mind and mouth. When Uranus enters Gemini, thought accelerates. But it's not just about speed, it's about dimension. Expect sudden shifts in how humans process language, even consciousness. This may mark the rise of AI-integrated perception, psychic networks, or even new forms of language entirely: visual, vibrational, telepathic. In other words, communication beyond speech. And here's the secret, hidden in plain sight. These transits are not pushing us forward, they're pulling us inward. Because the evolution isn't just technological, it's mythological. It's time to stop asking, what will 2025 bring? And start asking, what ancient memory is waking up inside me, now that the stars are aligning again? Most people think astrology is out there. Charts, signs, predictions. But the truth, astrology is in here. It's visceral. It's encoded into your nervous system. It pulses in your chakras. It whispers through your hormones. It beats beneath your rib cage because you were born into a cosmic rhythm. And in 2025, that rhythm is changing tempo. Let's make it personal. Have you been feeling it? Vivid dreams you can't shake, an odd pressure behind the eyes, random emotional waves without triggers, a sense that time is either speeding up or dissolving altogether. These are not glitches, they're activations. As the outer planets shift, they trigger specific frequencies in your biofield. Pluto entering Aquarius can bring physical detox symptoms, not because you're sick, but because your body is purging inherited patterns. Neptune in Pisces may cause spiritual vertigo, dizziness, disorientation, the strange sensation that your soul is no longer anchored in linear time. And Uranus at the edge of Gemini, it's electricity. You may feel surges of ideas at 3 a.m., sudden flashes of knowing, a desire to speak a truth you haven't fully formed yet. These are not side effects, they are initiations. Because 2025 isn't just about knowing astrology, it's about embodying it. And when you begin to notice the language of the stars inside you, your evolution accelerates. Start small. Notice your breath when the moon is full. Track your energy when Mercury shifts signs. Observe your dreams around eclipses. You'll begin to see you are not separate from the sky. You are its reflection, a star in human form. And as you become more attuned, the deeper truth reveals itself. The planets don't force anything. They mirror what's already waking in you. And the most powerful mirror of 2025, your own silence. In that silence, a voice rises, not from ego, not from culture, but from source. And it will say, you are more than you were told. You are a rhythm, a symbol, a story written in light. If you feel this resonance stirring in your bones, if you sense that 2025 is more than just a date but a door, then don't just watch from the edge. Step through it. Subscribe. Tap the bell. Let's decode the cosmos from the inside out. The stars have spoken before, and when they do, history remembers. Let's rewind the cosmic clock. The last time Pluto entered Aquarius was 1777. America had just declared independence. The Enlightenment was shaking Europe. Revolutions were erupting, not just in nations, but in minds. New ideas were born, that power could belong to the people, that science and spirit might not be enemies, that humans could reimagine society from the ground up. Now, over 240 years later, Pluto returns, not to repeat history, but to evolve it. This time, the revolution won't just be political, it will be paradigmatic. We're no longer fighting over borders, we're rethinking what reality is. Aquarius governs systems, innovation, collective energy. With Pluto here, old structures begin to crumble, but not randomly, strategically. Anything built on fear, control, or secrecy begins to shake. This includes governments, yes, but also corporations, educational models, spiritual hierarchies, even time itself. Neptune in Pisces echoes another cycle, one that last occurred in the mid-1800s. That era saw the birth of spiritualism in the West, seances, mediums, the rise of interest in the afterlife, in vibration, in the seen and unseen. Now, Neptune has returned and brought the veil down even thinner. The interest in mysticism is no longer fringe, it's becoming mainstream. But this time, it's not about belief, it's about integration. The mystic is becoming the scientist. The intuitive is becoming the innovator. We are witnessing the rebirth of the mythical mind in harmony with logic. And Uranus? The last time it entered Gemini was during World War II, the invention of computers, mass communication, the splitting of the atom. We unlocked forces greater than ourselves. Now, as Uranus prepares to return to Gemini, the stakes are even higher. AI, telepathy, neuro-linked consciousness. We're standing at the threshold of a new language, not of words, but of frequency. And here's the cosmic joke. These aren't new, they're returning. Because astrology doesn't just show us the future, it reminds us of the eternal spiral, the sacred rhythm where past, present, and future echo one another. And as these echoes grow louder in 2025, the question becomes, will we repeat the past or transcend it? Because if the stars have taught us anything, it's this: cycles don't just bring change, they bring opportunity. Not all changes come from above. Some are born here. Every major astrological shift opens a portal, and souls aligned with that frequency begin to incarnate. They arrive with different blueprints, different wiring, different missions. In 2025, the children being born are not ordinary. They are carriers of the Aquarian frequency, souls tuned to the collective, coded for systems change, awakened to interdimensional memory. Some call them star seeds, others call them crystal or rainbow children. But labels don't matter. What matters is this: they remember. They remember who they were before they arrived, and many of them remember who you were too. These children are not here to follow rules, they're here to question the game. They don't see race, nation, or status. They see energy, they feel resonance, and when they grow, they will not seek power, they will amplify presence. This is not fantasy, it's biology. Studies already show that Gen Z and Gen Alpha have different brain patterns. Higher activity in empathy centers, faster information processing, more intuitive and less linear problem solving. They are the first wave of post-linear thinkers, and 2025 is their stage. They are not waiting for institutions to change. They're bypassing them, building networks instead of nations, creating digital temples, speaking not just in words but in images, tones, memes, symbols. Their minds are not fragmented, they're fractal. But what about you? You may not be part of this new wave by birth, but you are part of it by calling. You're alive in this moment for a reason. Your nervous system chose this timeline. And that means you have work to do, not to compete with the new wave, but to bridge it, to hold space, to remember enough so they don't forget. Because this isn't about age, it's about frequency. The stars don't care how old you are, they care how awake you are. And in 2025, the frequency will rise whether you're ready or not. So, will you resist, or will you tune in? Because in this new world, wisdom is not in knowing more, it's in remembering what's true. Amidst global shifts and cosmic tides, it's easy to feel small, to watch the stars move and think, what can I possibly do? But here's the forgotten truth. The stars don't just shape the world, they shape you. Each of us is born with a unique imprint, an astrological fingerprint etched into the fabric of time. Your natal chart is not a sentence, it's a map, a cosmic diagram of your soul's chosen coordinates, where, when, and why you entered this world. And as 2025 unfolds with seismic celestial realignments, your map comes alive again. Let's decode how. First, find where Aquarius, Gemini, and Pisces appear in your birth chart. because those are the signs being lit by Pluto, Uranus, and Neptune, the three architects of this transformation. Where Aquarius sits in your chart is where power will be reclaimed. Where Gemini lands is where your mind will evolve. And where Pisces falls, that's where the veil will thin. If Aquarius is in your fourth house, home, expect deep shifts in your ancestry and family legacy. If Gemini rules your second house, value, expect a revolution in how you earn, save, or define wealth. If Pisces floats through your 12th house, the unconscious, expect vivid dreams, past life memories, and even supernatural insight. But don't stop there. Track the transits. See how these planets are touching your sun, moon, or ascendant. Each touch is a spark, an activation, a moment where your blueprint is being updated, like a cosmic software upgrade. And here's where it gets powerful. You don't just read your chart, you work with it, you attune to it. Let's say your natal Mercury, planet of mind, is being hit by Uranus in 2025. This is a signal to upgrade how you think, maybe even how you speak. Try learning a symbolic language, explore sacred geometry, or simply allow silence to speak through you. If your Venus is being hit by Pluto, love will no longer be soft. It will be alchemy. You will be asked to burn what's false to reveal what's real. Astrology is not a forecast, it's a dialogue. And when you listen, not just with intellect, but with soul, you begin to feel it. The stars aren't predicting your path, they're dancing with it, inviting you to co-create. So ask yourself, what house is being activated in my chart? What story is ending? What archetype is rising in me? And what am I being asked to become? Because when the outer planets call, they don't knock politely. They crash the gates. Not to hurt you, to awaken you. And the more you resist, the louder the disruption. But the more you align, the more magical your life becomes. Not easy, but true. So here you are, not by accident, but by design. You didn't stumble into 2025. You chose this timeline, or perhaps it chose you. And now the stars are no longer just lights above. They are mirrors, each one reflecting a part of you long forgotten. You are not separate from the cosmos. You are its extension. When Pluto reshapes society, when Neptune dissolves the illusion, when Uranus electrifies the mind, it's not just global, it's personal. Every time you resist transformation, the sky tightens. But every time you surrender, it opens. Like a gate, a rhythm, a forgotten chord finally remembered. And this is the secret the ancients knew. The heavens are not outside you. They live inside your choices. So the question is not whether the world will change in 2025. It's whether you will answer the invitation. Because make no mistake, this is not just a year. It is a threshold, a liminal space between the age of forgetting and the era of remembering. In 2025, you are being called to decode your chart, embody your frequency, speak your myth, live your legend, not as performance, as truth. And that truth, it's not loud, it doesn't shout, it resonates. Quietly, powerfully, endlessly. Now pause, breathe, look not at the stars, but with them, and ask, if the cosmos is awakening, what part of me is still asleep? Drop your answer in the comments. You never know who might be waiting to hear the truth you've been hiding. And if this stirred something in you, don't stop here. Explore the other transmissions on this channel. The sky never stops moving, and neither should your soul.